welcome to Sinister Studies. Join me each episode as I delve into some truly sinister topics and traumatize my family. I'll be joined by one or more teenager, and from time to time, we'll have special guests. Be forewarned, our stories are seriously sinister, so listener discretion is always advised.
Gonna sit there and stare at you for the whole time?
Just gonna sit right behind your feet and loaf.
He is loafing pretty hard right now.
Ew, you're so cute. Why are you so cute? Damn, that's crazy. Such a little guy. Such a little guy.
So I have updates. Updates. So, Bell has officially...
Stop attacking my foot. Sorry.
Chad Daybell has officially been given the death penalty.
Woohoo!
He, just in case you were wondering, Idaho uses the injection method. Unfortunately, that means we're not going to have a John Coffey situation.
Unfortunately, that means they're not going to put him in a medieval torture device.
I want you to know that when I was looking into this, I was on my lunch break. Yes, I really was. I was really on my lunch break, and I was taking notes on a sticky note of everything, and then I left it at that office.
Oh.
So I had to call my friend and say, you could just throw that away. And she's like, I figured as much. Because it just said death penalty, lethal injection, among other things, on a sticky note that I left at work. Is going to have his case automatically appealed because he received the death penalty. However, his lawyers have asked that the Supreme Court review not only the verdict, but the sentence as well.
Boo.
So we'll see how that goes. Regardless, he was delivered to the maximum security prison just yesterday.
Yay! That motherfucker is locked up for good.
Yes, so welcome to Sinister Studies.
If the appeal, if they change his sentence, I'm gonna start killing. I'll do it myself.
It's unlikely. Idaho's really angry. Trying to get me to move to Idaho. Still not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not gonna happen.
And I don't want to be in Idaho.
You don't want to be in Idaho.
I don't want to be in Idaho.
Idahoan? Is that
Idahoan?
Idaho?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Idaho. But because our last case was so freaking gnarly, we're going to do cryptids today.
Yay.
Don't sound so excited. You have a cryptid right under your chair as we speak. Oh. Look at him. The little demon comes out of nowhere.
Swear to God. I know, I already told you this, but this for the listeners, I think this kid got possessed by a demon. Last week. Because I was just petting him. Like normal, as per usual. Not doing anything. All of a sudden, he grabs me. All 4 claws clamped on my arms. Will not let go. And he starts biting the shit out of me for literally no reason. And he would not let me go. I was yanking my arm away. And he would not let go. I was like, what the fuck just came over this cat?
You'd think it would be nap time since he just went outside. But no. We are leash training our cat for all of you who care. Nobody cares, but...
He's not an outdoor cat.
It's hilarious.
I would actually, if you guys said we want him to be an outdoor cat, I'd kill you.
No, we live on a busy road, and there's foxes that make their den very close to our house.
I don't think he would survive in the wild.
He's a big baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bless you.
So, we do let him outside, and he enjoys it. But he's leashed at all times. Oh. You guys hear this shit?
I know it may come as a surprise to many people, but we're from New England. I'm sure it's abundantly clear by now. First up on our next 10 states is Massachusetts.
Wait, isn't there somebody from England listening?
Hi, Peter. It's definitely Peter.
Who the fuck is Peter?
He's my friend.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely Peter. So
Hi,
welcome,
Peter.
Our UK listeners. I bet you he's behind. Fully supports my decision to bring the word cunt back to the United States.
Real.
Pretty sure. He'll let me know, I'm sure. So, Massachusetts has the Dover Demon.
The Dover Demon.
Maybe that demon came for little Sebastian.
Apparently, it came over him. It just... It possessed him. Are you a Dover Demon?
He is a Dover Demon. On April 21st, 1977, in Dover, Massachusetts, which is about 30 minutes outside of Boston, 17-year-old Bill Bartlett is driving at about 40 miles per hour down Farm Street when he saw a creature sitting on top of a rock. It had glowing eyes and a very, very large head.
What the fuck is that thing?
That is the Dover Demon.
It's ugly as fuck.
You'll see there's drawings.
It's actually hideous. I can't do this. Why does it look like that?
So, not having a camera on him, Bill, who was an artist, went home and immediately sketched out this ugly beast.
It is ugly.
2 hours later, John Baxter, who was 15 years old, was walking down Miller Hill Road and saw what he initially thought another kid walking towards him. But the closer he got, the more bizarre details started becoming abundantly clear. It had a large, bulbous head, long, skinny arms with long, skinny fingers. He also went home and drew this creature. Then, at around midnight, 15-year-old Abby Brabham, driving in a car with her friend Will Traynor down Springdale Ave, when the two of them saw the creature on the side of the road. She described it as having a baby's body with long arms and legs. So think of a really skinny baby, because they have big old heads. Really skinny, long baby. She also went home and drew the monster. Shortly after that encounter, Will, who was returning from dropping Abby off at home, was in his car with another friend when the two of them saw the same monstrous creature streaking across the road. So we're looking at a number of people on 4 separate occasions on the same day, seeing this creature in a very, very short span of time. Every single one of these teenagers took and passed a polygraph test. Each of them were considered credible. I want to judge credibility in 1977, I don't know. And it was never, ever seen again.
It's like, oh shit, they're on to me, I gotta go.
All descriptions and drawings depict the Dover Demon as having a short torso, a large bulbous head with a beak-like mouth, long, spindly limbs,
frog-looking ass hands,
with arms and hands that go almost all the way to the ground. They're dark in color. It seemed to be hairless.
This thing's really ugly. You guys.
So what could it be? You want to guess?
Aliens.
Aliens!
Isn't it always?
They're thinking maybe it's a hoax by bored teenagers on their school vacation. But the caveat on that would be that the only 2 or 3 that knew each other are Will, Abby, and Will's friend. Or maybe they all went to the same party and they had a really bad acid trip. Literally one of the options. All four of these people had a bad acid trip.
But they saw the same exact thing, which is a little weird. But they could just be on drugs.
Another option would be a mutant. Or possibly a misidentification due to poor lighting or other possible psychological factors.
So they were on drugs?
Maybe they were on drugs. They also think that maybe it could have been a newborn horse, donkey, or moose. It was walking on two legs, so I don't know how that works.
I don't think horses are
or
bipedal.
there was a monkey running around Massachusetts.
It also doesn't really look like a monkey.
Or it could have been a deformed human, a la the Melonheads from Connecticut. We have Michigan.
Michigan.
Michigan has the Michigan Dogman. This is described as about 7 feet tall, a bipedal canine with a human-like torso and the head of a dog or a wolf. Its eyes are said to glow in the dark, and its howls sound like a human screaming.
Oh.
It is mostly seen in northern Michigan, with a high concentration of sightings at the top of the state's lower peninsula. Lower peninsula. Sightings have been cyclical, seemingly reported pretty consistently on the 7s. First recorded sighting was in 1887 when 2 lumberjacks saw an enormous canine walking on 2 feet and screaming like a human.
What's this thing called again?
The Michigan Dogman. It left scratches on a door, would have been to have his height at approximately 7'4".
Oh, it's just a werewolf-looking thing.
So the lumberjacks packed up their shit and left the area.
Why it kind of look like a gorilla, though?
I think it's like, because it kind of looks like a lichen who hasn't completely transformed. It's very weird.
It's peculiar.
1937, a man was attacked by wild dogs, and he told people that one stood up on its hind legs and was much larger than the others, and when he did so, it looked him straight in the eye.
Oh.
2017, a truck driver who was a former member of the military was driving through the local national forest when he stopped to check on an issue with his truck. He started hearing some weird noises and odd shadows along the wood line. He thought it may be a black bear, so he got back into his truck because he's not fucking with a bear.
Fair.
He started going again, and it's a big truck, so it takes a while to... He looked in his side mirror. There was a dog man pacing the truck at about 25 miles per hour.
25 miles per hour.
It was looking into the cab of the truck and scratching at the door. Described it as having human hands, black fur, pointed ears, yellow, intelligent eyes, and stood about 10 feet tall. He said it also looked really angry and had a thick black mane. He kept driving up the hill and pulled his gun and shot the dogman twice. And he went down immediately. Being former military, he knew that he had a headshot. So it took him a while to slow down enough and pull off so he could turn around and go back the way he came. And back to the spot, the body of whatever it was gone, but there was a Jeep on the side of the road, almost exactly where he had shot the dogman. Oh. He stopped to ask if they needed help, and they told him that they may have seen bears fighting. That the brush at the side of the road looked like something had been dragged through them. He said that the whole thing was worse than any combat situation that he had ever been in.
He's like, now being in the military didn't give me PTSD, but that... Oh, I'm going to need therapy after that.
I mean, maybe that... I don't know. 1987, a local DJ wrote and recorded a song about the dogman as an April Fool's prank. He was stunned at the number of people who then contacted him to tell him about their experiences. So there is, if not an actual dogman, what could it possibly be? People do believe that it is an actual creature, a possible holdover from an ancient large wolf species, or...
Does it always have to be ancient, or is it just like, just a different breed that just doesn't go out that much.
Truly, animals used to be much bigger than they are now.
But like it could just be bigger. Could just be like a big ass wolf.
Or it could be a wolf-human hybrid, because that seems genetically possible. Your face.
I don't think that's feasible.
Because you'd only be able to make one at a time. Because even if you take a lion and a tiger, you still get a liger and they're sterile.
Yeah.
Same thing with a horse and a donkey. Their offspring is also sterile.
And their species are like relatively close. A human and a wolf.
Not close at all. But most people feel that it is a misidentified bear, coyote, or dog. And then there are those who suggest mass hysteria. If that were the case, this is the longest recorded history of mass hysteria, going from 1887 to the present. On our list is Mississippi. I honestly thought Mississippi would have better cryptids. I really did. I had high hopes for Mississippi. My hopes were dashed. Because their cryptid is aliens.
Ugh. Boo. Lame.
It is called the Pascagoula encounter, on October 11th, 1973. When Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker were fishing along the Pascagoula River when they saw a bright blue flashing light in the sky, and unfamiliar noises followed by the appearance of an oval-shaped object. 3 humanoid beings with slit mouths and pincers for hands levitated them, conscious but paralyzed, into the ship. They were examined on board by something that looked like a large eye. I know you've never seen it, but the only thing I could think of was the Flight of the Navigator. There's this big eye, and he just...
Stop.
It's hard to describe. You need to watch the Flight of the Navigator. Their examination, they found themselves back on land, confused and terrified. Both had puncture marks on their arms. They reported the encounter to skeptical police, who had reportedly received a number of calls that night about something strange in the sky. UFO researchers and reporters flocked to the area, and the pair were interviewed many, many times. They both passed polygraph tests, and their descriptions were pretty much identical. Aliens stood about 5 feet tall with slit mouths, no eyes, pointy ears, and wrinkly gray skin. They both had 3 fingers on each hand and 3 toes on each foot. Residents of the area at the time remember things like their parents putting tinfoil over the windows.
Oh.
Hickson and Parker in their stories for over 50 years, with Hickson becoming a UFO talking head, and Parker suffering from PTSD.
Damn.
So they went in 2 totally opposite directions here. Some believe that it was an elaborate hoax, but that'd be really elaborate. It's a 50-year-old hoax, and one of them's dead. So
yeah. Also, would you get PTSD if it was fake? I don't imagine so.
Probably not, no. Others think they maybe were hallucinating or were possibly confused about a natural phenomenon of which nobody knows what it could possibly be.
It's a natural phenomenon. What is it? I don't know. Like, if you're gonna say it's probably just a natural phenomenon, at least say what natural phenomenon.
Yeah, come up with it. Possible natural
Spit something out.
phenomenon. We have Missouri.
Missouri
has Momo.
Momo?
Momo. M-O-M-O.
Well, I presumed.
Momo is a 7-foot-tall bipedal humanoid with a pumpkin-sized head covered in thick, dark hair. So thick, in fact, that the only facial features visible are the eyes. And it smells vile.
It looks like it smells vile.
First reported July 11th, 1972 by two young boys who were playing outside while their sister was cleaning the house. Because stereotypes. Suddenly, the boys started screaming, so the sister went out to investigate, and she saw a large, hairy monster covered in blood holding a dead dog. Piper's unimpressed by that fact. People went searching for it, but could never find it. But the sightings continued for quite a while, mostly near the Mississippi River. A member of local government reported seeing it while driving in a creek bed. I don't know why he would be driving in a creek bed, but he was. Sightings continued for about a year, and word got around, so as we've heard happen in the past, armed men searched for the monster at night. Never found anything, and Bigfoot researcher William McGee said that he saw the creature in 1991 while camping, four-wheeling, and saw it in a creek. He described the face as more human than primate. He said the two made eye contact, and the beast jumped up when he took off. He said his grandfather had seen it many times as well. Is Momo? Could it be an extinct giant ape?
Why is it always like, oh, it's an extinct creature, an alien? Like, get creative.
A misidentified bear with deformities? A little blustery here.
You
don't think it could be a deformed bear?
I guess it could be. I don't see why not.
Could it be an alien? No, probably not.
I'm gonna start throwing things.
Or there's one retired teacher who said she believes it was an elaborate hoax by teenagers. She says that as soon as she heard the story, she confronted a student that she thought might have been involved. He swore to her that he wasn't involved, but gave her names of people that may have been involved. She said she never told anyone their names because they were generally good kids whose prank got away from them. She thinks they may have been wearing a dirty fur coat or something and eventually just dropped it in the Mississippi, never to be seen again.
That's fair.
Baby, what are you looking at? There's nothing out there. Number 5 on our list today is Montana.
How many M states are there?
Last one. Montana has the Shunka-Warakin.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Which translates to carries off dogs.
Carries off dogs.
Carries off dogs.
Carries off dogs. That's interesting. Okay.
Does
it carry off dogs?
Apparently it does. It is a wolf-like animal with a dark coat, a slanted back, and high shoulders. Some say it looks very much like a hyena, except we're in Montana and not Africa. Legend goes back to tribes in the region, the Crow, and the Blackfoot. They believe it is a powerful and dangerous evil spirit that will attack livestock and steal their dogs. I, too, live in terror about somebody stealing my dogs.
Yep. Pippa.
The first documented sighting...
Nobody will want to steal her because she's throwing away.
They specify here. The first documented sighting by white settlers was in 1886 when a rancher heard a commotion coming from his stockyard. A dark canine-like animal that was screaming as it chased his geese. Shot at it and hit the animal on his second attempt. The first attempt accidentally hitting a cow.
Oh, man.
He traded the dead animal to a merchant for a new cow, who mounted the thing and displayed it in his store, where it stayed until the 1980s. So that thing stayed in the store for almost 100 years. Can you imagine how gross it must be? Like taxidermy, because they didn't care for their taxidermy the way we do. We vacuum our taxidermy and make sure it doesn't have buggies in it.
We vacuum it?
Yes.
How often?
Well, we're not actively jumping up and vacuuming our friend and niece over here. But
we're not letting it get...
At least every couple of months, Dad does it.
I didn't know that. I never seen him vacuum her before.
The rancher's
we have a taxidermy bear right next to me, actually. Touching her paw as we speak. And, she's not dusty or anything.
The reason she's not dusty is because Dad vacuums the bear.
What, does he just stand on the chair and go?
He must, yes. But rancher's grandson tracked the animal down in 2007 to the Idaho Museum of Natural History, at which point it was loaned to the Madison Valley History Museum in Montana for display. No testing has ever been done on the animal to determine what exactly it is.
Really?
You would have thought by now.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
Some people believe it could be a new species or hybrid or mutation or related to the long extinct direwolves.
At least they name a species this time.
Or an American major, which is an extinct species of carnivore. The name translates to ambiguous dog.
Ambiguous what?
Ambiguous dog.
Ambiguous dog. That's funny.
Or an I don't even know if I said that, but its name translates into ambiguous dog. It kind of looks like a bear dog, long like a dog, long tail like a dog, and a thick neck and wolf-like teeth.
So kind of doggy.
So they believe it is actually some sort of real creature. Up next, we have Nebraska.
It has to be real because they have it.
They have it. They do have it. It is some sort of animal.
So we know it exists, at the very least.
Maybe they're afraid to test it, and then it comes back as some...
normal-ass thing.
Or something like that.
Maybe they just want to keep the mystery alive.
I can understand that. What are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm drawing.
Up next, we have Nebraska.
Nebraska.
They have the Walgren Lake Monster. This is another cryptid that holds root in native lore. Stories were that a lake monster would steal livestock right off the shore.
It would just pop up, take it, go.
The monster lives in Walgren Lake, as the name suggests, officially reported in 1921 by a newspaper which tried trying to catch the monster, but sadly they didn't have nets large enough for the job. In 1923, a group of men claimed to have seen the monster, which was 40 feet long, gray or brown color, and had a horn between its eyes.
Interesting.
It looked similar to an alligator, but much, much larger. When the animal saw them, it roared and dove under the water. And rumors were wild.
Piper, why do you drink so loud?
Fundamentalists believe that it was sent by Satan to test the faith of the locals.
How does it test their faith exactly? I don't understand.
I don't know. Some people said that the animal was so large that when it walked on land, it would tremble and farmers would be seasick for miles around.
That's crazy. I'd hate that. Good thing I'm not a farmer in Nebraska.
And lastly, when it came ashore, it would cause a green, disorienting fog. Satan, breaks, and poisonous gas. That's what I'm getting.
Poisonous
Satan,
gas?
earthquakes, poisonous gas. Because you like in the movies and cartoons, poisonous gas is always green. Like either that or it's super stinky. Yeah, the green. So like Scooby-Doo. All I can think of is Scooby-Doo right now. Piper seems that it may have been a hoax, which used major area lore to facilitate the story of the monster to sell newspapers. It seems that John G. Mayer, a local man, was quite good at this sort of shit and had done this before. This one, however, seemed to be his masterpiece.
His magnum opus of telling lies.
Yes, this is his magnum opus of pathological lying.
That's funny.
Next up, we have Nevada. This one's pretty boring because Nevada shares Tahoe Tessie with California.
Oh, yeah.
Just to recap, legends go back to the native tribes who spoke of water babies or powerful spirits in the lake. It is a large snake-like creature which may look like a giant fish or an eel with humps and fins. There are no evidence that Tahoe Tessie exists, but admittedly, Lake Tahoe is very large and very deep and has not been entirely explored.
Yeah, so it could just be like hiding in there.
To New England with New Hampshire. New Hampshire has the Woods Devil. There's possibly a group of them. The Woods Devil has been reported in Coos County, New Hampshire. Coos County is basically located at the tippity top of New Hampshire, flanked by Vermont, Maine, and Quebec.
Did you just say Quebec?
Quebec.
You said it really weird.
Okay, well, described as human-like, measuring in at 7 to 9 feet tall, skinny with a shaggy gray hair. Its face is horse-like with a snout and small eyes. Other creatures in this, and it smells really bad. They're very fast and elusive, often hiding behind trees, or if there's no trees, it stays really still to avoid detection. And the only thing I could think of here was Drax in Infinity War. I know you would not get that reference. Your brother was here. Here we get it. Everybody, you know what I'm talking about.
That thing is ugly.
It's mostly nocturnal and avoids humans at all costs.
I don't like
which
that.
I don't blame it. If it encounters a human, it will scream. Although modern sightings are sporadic, back in the 40s and 50s, a number of hunters reported seeing the creature. One claimed to have shot one of them, which seemed to be about 8 feet tall and about 400 pounds, but lost the trail. Most report it running away or hiding from them.
That's so fair.
And that's literally all we have. Multiple sites were able to find no possible alternative origin, no claims of hallucination, nothing.
At least it's not harmful. It's just like...
No, it's just scared the shit as shit.
It's just like, get away from me.
Like, I don't trust you assholes. Maybe we should go find their little pod and live with them.
They'd run away.
They probably would. Coming in at number 9, we have the Jersey Devil.
Oh.
Hailing from New Jersey.
Oh my god. Who could have predicted that?
The Jersey Devil was designated in 1938 as being New Jersey's only resident demon.
Only?
I guess all other demons must stay out of New Jersey.
I suppose. Or like, all the other ones, they're just passing by, but this one...
Look it up. It is some weird fucked up hybrid cryptid. It is bipedal, but has the face of a horse, the head or of a dog or a goat, depending on who you ask. Bat-like wings, horns, and a dragon-like tail.
There are a lot of varying depictions of this thing, but it
lets out
it's
blood.
fucked up. That definitely is a demon.
Screams.
That definitely is a demon.
Can you imagine walking through the woods and that shit comes at you?
I'd pass away. I wouldn't. I simply wouldn't.
It's honestly pretty frightening. More scared of that than I would of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It reportedly lives in the Pine Barrens, which is in southern New Jersey. It is a dense forest and wetland environment. Its origin story is one that only a Puritan could love.
Why? What?
Back in 1735, Jane Leeds was pregnant with her 13th child.
With her 13th child.
Apparently, it was a rough pregnancy because she cursed the child, saying that it would be the devil. Eventually, she did give birth to lucky number 13, and it was a normal baby. At first. It quickly began to morph into this abhorrent creature. It then attacked everybody in the room and flew up the chimney and into the forest.
It's just like, oh, she gives birth and she's like, oh, thank God, it's a normal. And it just starts growing wings and screeching. And like,
yep.
That's fucking ridiculous. There's no fucking way.
You thought I was kidding. You thought I was kidding.
I can't do this.
Some people do say that Jane Leeds was a witch, and the baby's father was Satan himself.
Oh. She was fornicating with Satan?
She was fornicating with Satan, yes.
That's crazy.
But either way, she was likely a victim to the religious persecution of the times. Line of things. This is not long after the Salem witch trials, so there's a good chance that all that nonsense may have trickled down to New Jersey. And this poor woman with a fucking dozen children gives birth to Satan's baby.
It's bizarre.
Lucky 13 stayed hidden for quite a while until he apparently got bored in the early 1900s when there was a sudden uptick in sightings. Sightings spanned New Jersey and nearby Pennsylvania with reports of attacking livestock, pets, and vehicles. It left odd footprints and was screaming as it went. So it was just running around, causing a ruckus, screaming.
That's, you know what? That's kind of fair. That's kind of fair. That's kind of real.
During this time, every single thing in the area shut down and groups of armed men tried to catch the monster.
Why is their first instinct always kill these things?
Because men. Oh my God. Records of sighting include police officers, public officials, and businessmen. There are still reports of sightings to this day, many being near the Garden State Parkway or the Atlantic City Expressway. Obvious demon status, which the state of New Jersey acknowledges. What else?
The state of New Jersey acknowledges.
What else could this fine creature be? It could be a deformed animal. Or a new or misidentified species, such as a sandhill crane, which I don't see as a feasible option in my opinion. If you look at them, it's a fucking crane.
There's no way this thing
How
is a
could you
crane.
misidentify a crane to this?
That's bizarre.
I don't know. I've seen a crane. I go to the zoo. Also, we live near the water. I've seen cranes in real life.
I've seen cranes in real life. Like the way you said that.
Or it could be a pterosaur. But that seems extremely far-fetched that a fucking dinosaur is hiding out in New Jersey.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I could maybe imagine a dinosaur hiding out in like Canada or maybe the wilds, like in unpopulated areas in the western states, but not New Jersey. New Jersey is the last place I would think that a dinosaur would be hiding out.
Yeah.
Another possible explanation is our favorite, hallucinations or mass hysteria.
Isn't it always?
It could also be a supernatural entity. But that kind of goes in with the devil thing. And Satan being its daddy.
Yeah.
At one point, there was a $100,000 reward for the capture of the New Jersey Devil, dead or alive. Nobody has ever cashed in on that reward.
Predictably. Because it's running away from everybody.
It's just running away screaming.
Because nobody fucking wants. Because, I mean, if you're coming at it with guns all the time, it's going to start running away because it doesn't want to be shot.
But in the same vein, why is it running down the expressway? I've been on the Garden State Expressway. Like, I've been on that. First of all, not delightful. Sounds delightful. Not. It's right up there with Yonkers to me. Why would it be running down the expressway? Why also would it be in Atlantic City?
I don't know. Maybe it just wanted to hang out and have fun. I don't know.
It's going to play some poker, some craps.
I suppose.
Going to hit the tables hard. Maybe win the jackpot on the slot machines.
Maybe. Shot on one bid. Who knows? Supernatural entities can gamble too.
He wants to win it big so he can move out of New Jersey.
Yeah. He's like, get me out of here. Does not want to be there. Do you know what? I don't blame it. I don't blame it.
No. So last on our list today is New Mexico. Before I get into this, if you perhaps are indigenous or know what I'm about to say and don't want to hear it, please feel free to skip.
Why? How are you about to pronounce this?
I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm going to tell you what it is.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot of superstition, native superstition, and belief around this creature.
Oh, I thought you were just going to pronounce it really bad.
No.
And you were like,
no, this is
for the sake of your ears, get out.
This is truly a being that is feared.
Okay.
Actually probably do an entire episode on these because they're actually kind of scary. But we're talking about the skinwalkers.
Oh.
Skinwalkers are rooted in native lore, including, but not limited to, the Navajo, Hopi, and Ute tribes, as well as the Apache and the Platte.
Oh, that
is almost unheard of for members of these tribes to discuss the skinwalker, lest they become the object of their wrath.
Yeah, and they also don't think you should call it by its name, or it's gonna
come for you.
Yeah.
Reports of these entities.
I'm gonna come for you, Mom. Do you have your will?
I do avoid saying that phrase as much as possible here. Reports of these entities span multiple states.
Do you have your will written out just in case? Because you,
I got shit. I ain't got shit.
Can I get all your clothes?
Sure. All my clothes goes to this one. You heard it here first.
Legally binding statement on the podcast.
The bare bones, most accepted history is that the skinwalker is a medicine man who became corrupted and turned to evil, usually committing a heinous sin. In doing so, they lose their humanity and usually look animalistic at all times. They are said to be able to transform into any animal. Many of their chosen forms are predators: coyotes, wolves, black bears, and things of that nature.
Piper, can you stop yapping?
Pippi, you are not a predator. Stop it.
You would not survive in the wild, Pepper. Stop acting like it.
They're also able to possess living beings and walk around in their bodies.
I don't like that.
They can, in addition to that, doppelgang a person and mimic their voice to lure people in. They are, as a result, very hard to spot, and native and non-natives alike have reported sightings of this being. There are apparently a few ways to deter them, bullets being one.
Like they're a vampire?
Like silver bullets, or that's Lycan, the werewolf.
Oh, whoopsie.
Silver bullets or silver weapons in general. So silver, fire, or in
fire.
A traditional...
Just set them on fire?
Yep.
I mean, that would work for a lot of things, I bet.
Alternatively, there is a traditional ceremony to free one from the influence of them. There's no speculation on where they come from. You either believe in these or you do not. Are a very important part of the native beliefs in that area. I'm sure you're aware. I have watched the show about Skinwalker Ranch and Blind Frog Ranch. They're not in New Mexico, but the lore spans a massive length, like the length of the country in that area. Say that I could do an entire episode. It's true. There's a lot more information on the subject, but it is an extremely sensitive topic for many tribes. And I, for one, am not going to elaborate on that any further. I really don't feel like that should be considered a cryptid either.
But
apparently,
I want to hear.
Apparently it does. It is considered a cryptid.
I want to hear your reasoning on this, though.
Why shouldn't it be?
Yeah. Just wondering.
I'm not just talking about belief from a long ago and far, far away. We're talking about current native beliefs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of phenomena surrounding. If you watch either of those shows that I mentioned, you will see some fucked up shit. And I, for one, cannot see the Discovery Channel in killing cattle in that manner.
Why?
Just for ratings. I mean, it's the fucking Discovery Channel. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's not all that sensationalized. It's the fucking Discovery Channel.
Like, they're just going out to discover things. They don't get pulling elaborate hoaxes.
They don't get
for long periods of time
there.
No,
yeah.
They don't. And I'm sure it is terrifying. Really thinks it's time for cuddles.
Yeah. She thinks it's time for you guys to lay on the couch and cuddle.
Maybe I'll go outside and sit in the sunspot like a cat and just take a nap. Like I did last week. Alas, the sun is hiding again.
It's feel unfortunate.
Maybe until next time. Next time we're going to start a series. I don't know whether there's going to be 2 or 3 episodes.
We still don't know?
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's another long one. But it is a classic.
Yep. And at least it's not as traumatizing.
There's no children involved. There's no assault involved. Please feel free to follow us. Rate us. You can email us at centersforstudiespod@gmail.com. Welcome to our international listeners.
Not very international. Let's get someone from the Philippines listening next.
We could infiltrate by way of the UK, just like they did to everything else.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. They're gonna colonize with our podcast.
Until next time. We're gonna colonized.